When we think about planning instruction that will support students in reading multisyllabic words and attacking words that are unknown, words that they don't automatically recognize on sight, we want to think about three principles that separate powerful word level instruction from word level instruction that kind of washes over kids and doesn't accumulate into a solid knowledge base for them to use as readers. So the three core principles that always need to be true when we're doing any word level work is that the instruction itself needs to be explicit, which basically just means that whatever the pattern is or the rule is or whatever the tool or strategy is, even if we let kids sort of discover it, at some point we need to clearly state it and make sure that kids have stated it back to us so that they know exactly what pattern we're talking about. The next is that it needs to be systematic, which means that because we are thinking about word level skill development, it parallels a lot of natural language development. And natural language development happens in a developmental sequence that has sort of a known and predictable developmental continuum. And so the more we use that continuum of language development to inform how we do a continuum of literacy development, the more chance students have to build on a stable and usable foundation that will accumulate into knowledge for reading. If we instead sort of teach sounds as they come up, or teach like, letter of the day, because it's Tuesday we're thinking Z, because it's Wednesday we're thinking W, kids don't have as easy a time storing that information in usable ways, and so we want to parallel oral language development as closely as possible. We'll think about how to do that in your context. And then the last principle is what we teach students about word level work is in some ways a mechanical skill, and so it relies on memory and on moving things from working memory into long-term memory, but also calling them up very quickly. And so we need to think about how to help kids store that information through multiple pathways for processing and remembering, so that they can use it flexibly and quickly and eventually automatically. And so whenever we're doing word level work, we want to think about how to make that instruction multisensory, and we'll talk more about that one. But first, let's dig into this idea of explicit.